RPM2Night, Chase Elliott wants a brand new watch. A historic race finds its pace in IndyCar, and Connor Daly's got another shot at the top.
Going green, this time five, going green, this time five. Bring them down.
Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Why not end your day with your one-stop shop for gearheads, RPM2Night. We begin with reigning NASCAR champion Chase Elliott. He will join Felipe Nasr, Pippo Durrani, and Mike Conway in the number 31 Wheel & Engineering AXR Cadillac DPI for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Elliott, who has won all 5 NASCAR Cup road course races, will be competing in the opening round of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship for the first time. He will find himself teamed with his former Hendrick Motorsports NASCAR teammate Jimmy Johnson, who will be sharing a second Action Express Racing Cadillac with Simon Pagenaud, Kamui Kobayashi, and Mike Rockenfeller. Elliott said the Rolex 24 is such a major event, and it's a race that anybody across any type of motorsports really respects. I think everyone wants to win a watch before their career is over. Gary Nelson, AXR's team manager, said, "Recently we were able to spend a day with Chase in the simulator running the Dallara Cadillac model on the Daytona road course. We were amazed at how quick Chase got up to speed, his feedback, and how easy he was to work with. We're very excited to work with him again next month in Daytona at the Roar and the Rolex 24. Next, we go to IndyCar as the 2021 Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach has been rescheduled for Sunday, September 26th due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The move from the event's traditional April date creates a 3-race West Coast swing to conclude the 2021 NTT IndyCar Series Championship, beginning at Portland on September 12th, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca on Sunday, September 19th, before finishing on the streets of Long Beach. It is important to have Long Beach rescheduled to continue the history and tradition for one of the series' hallmark events in one of the nation's premier media markets, Penske Entertainment Corp. President CEO Mark Miles said. Further, it's a tremendous opportunity to wrap up the season with 3 straight iconic venues for what we believe will be our most exciting season yet. Long Beach was one of several IndyCar races that fell victim to the pandemic in 2020, breaking an unbroken annual run for the event, which was held for the first time in September 1975 for F5000 cars, from 1976 to 1983 for Formula One, and since 1984 for Indy cars. Sticking with IndyCar, Connor Daly will continue for a second year as the road and street course driver at the number 20 ECR Chevrolet, which will carry U.S. Air Force colors for 10 races. In addition, Ed Carpenter Racing confirmed Daly will again race the squad's 3rd car in a U.S. Air Force livery in the Indianapolis 500. The car's primary sponsor for the other 3 road and street events and for the 3 non-Indy 500 oval races, when team owner Ed Carpenter takes the wheel, will be revealed at a later date. The USAF believes involvement in the NTT IndyCar Series has had a positive impact on generating public awareness about the organization, its people, and mission. The strategic partnership enables the U.S. Air Force to leverage and establish STEM correlations with IndyCar racing, including teamwork, speed, technology, engineering, math, and excellence in competition. The number 21 ECR Chevrolet will again be piloted by Rinus VeeKay, who drove to the Rookie of the Year title in 2020. Next up, it's Super Formula, the Japanese-based pseudo Formula One championship, which is pretty exciting. The story today is that 2-time Super Formula champion Hiroshi Ishura is set to step away from the series after this weekend's Fuji season finale. Toyota driver Ishura, who's 39, made his debut in what was then known as Formula Nippon in 2008, and apart from 2 years away in 2012 and 2013, has been an ever-present fixture in the series. He joined his current team Inging in 2014 after a period away from the championship that followed his aborted plans to race in the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2012 for Toyota, and earned his first title in the series the following year. In 2017, Ashura earned his 2nd crown as he beat future Red Bull Formula One driver Pierre Gasly by just half a point after the season finale was cancelled due to a typhoon. Ishura slumped to 13th in the standings last year as Ying suffered a decline in form when Super Formula switched to the current SF19 chassis, and with one race left in the 2020 campaign, he sits ninth overall with a single podium finish at Okayama. When approached, Ishura declined to comment directly on his future, but did confirm that he will not take part in next week's postseason rookie test at Fuji. Super Formula Lights driver Senna Sakaguchi has been tipped for a tryout with Ying in the test in Ishura's place, although it is unclear if he is set to race for the team next season. Sho Tsuboy, meanwhile, is expected to remain in the team's second car after scoring his first win in the series at Okayama this year. Ishura's anticipated departure could be one of several changes within the Toyota Super Formula stable for the 2021 season. Flagship team Tom's has at least one free space in its ranks for 2021, with Nick Cassidy departing the series to race in Formula E. But it's also unclear whether Kazuki Nakajima will return due to his commitments for Toyota in the FIA World Endurance Championship. KCMG driver Kamui Kobayashi is in a similar position, but series promotee JRP is understood to be keen that Toyota finds a way to ensure that the two ex-Formula One racers remain on the grid. Super Formula Lights champion Ritamo Miyata is poised to graduate the main series in 2021, having made two cameo appearances for Tom's this year as a substitute for Nakajima when he was unavailable for the Okayama and Sugo races. Ishura is likely to continue to race for Ying's sister teams Tsurumo in Super GT next year. More news here is that Enem Ahmed is set to appear to next week's rookie test, driving for the BMAX Racing with Motorpark squad, having sat out most of the season. The British driver who drove for BMAX Motorpark last year in the All Japan F3 and finished third overall is in attendance at this weekend's season finale with the team. Ahmed had made a brief return to Europe single-seaters earlier this year as he contested the first three rounds of the FIA F3 season with Carlin before parting ways with the team. An entry list for the test is expected to be released on Monday, ahead of the start of the two-day test on Tuesday. Now into Formula One. Red Bull Racing says neither Sebastian Vettel nor Nico Hülkenberg were ever seriously considered for a 2021 race seat with the team, with Red Bull weighing up its options from the middle of the season about whether or not to stick with Alex Albon or to look elsewhere. Both Vettel and Hülkenberg were linked with the Milton Keynes-based outfit. Speaking after eventually signing Sergio Perez as Max Verstappen's teammate for 2021, Red Bull team boss Christian Horner said that the Mexican was the only driver that it looked at properly. Horner said that it was Red Bull's pure good luck that a top driver like Perez was a free agent at the very time when they were looking for the best candidate possible. While Red Bull has a young driver program, Horner said that the team had to make a pragmatic choice about what suited it best when it felt that none of their juniors were ready yet for a top-line F1 chance. More Formula One. Charles Leclerc and newcomer Carlos Sainz will start the 2021 Formula One season with equal status at Ferrari, says team principal Matteo Binotto. Although Leclerc will be entering his third season at the Italian team, while former Toro Rosso and Renault and McLaren driver Sainz is about to embark on his first campaign there, Binotto is clear that there will be no number one driver. There is nothing written in the contract of Charles being team leader, said Binotto. I think the two will be free to fight on track. Binotto said that Ferrari's priority will always be to maximize Constructors' Championship points, so any pit wall involvement in team orders would only be on that front. Sainz had his first day at Maranello on Friday, where he was shown around the factory and had an early run of meetings to get to know the people he would be working with. Speaking about his experience, the Spaniard said that the initial contact of being at the fabled Maranello facility was something that he would remember for the rest of his life. More news from the men in red as Ferrari plans to unveil its 2021 Formula One car, the SF21, just ahead of preseason testing at Barcelona in Spain next year. Although there is a chassis freeze for the teams, which means that they must run on their current basic cars again, aerodynamic changes are allowed and teams can spend 2 development tokens to make other modifications. Ferrari is aiming to hold a team launch in the early part of the year to introduce its management and the driver lineup of Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, but will not reveal its 2021 challenger until just before it runs on track for the first time. Speaking to selected media from Maranello, team principal Matteo Binotto explained Ferrari's plans for the preseason period. "We already decided the name of the car next year," he said. "The car will be called SF21. It's a very simple name because we believe that next year's transition to 2022, so let's keep the SF21 name of the car. It will certainly be partially a frozen car, same chassis as 2020. We will organize differently the unveiling of this car next year. We will organize first an event where we will present the team and our drivers to our fans, to our partners, and to the journalists. But we may organize a second event, and that could be directly at Barcelona winter testing, where we would unveil the car, and that will be somehow done in a different way." One of Ferrari's key hopes of progress in 2021 is that an all-new engine will address the power deficit they had suffered from this season. Binotto said that he figures coming from the dyno facilities at Maranello were encouraging, as he had faith that Ferrari would not be left battling with the worst engine next year. And our final story regards the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the most grueling, most advanced, and possibly the craziest race in motorsports. This story is regarding Toyota, as the reliability of their new Le Mans hypercar has impressed FIA World Endurance Championship title winner Jose Maria Lopez across its first two tests. Lopez, co-champion in the 2019-20 WEC with Kamui Kobayashi and Mike Conway, described the reliability of the Japanese manufacturer's 2021 hybrid prototype as quite impressive at the conclusion of its second outing at the Algarve circuit in Portugal this week. "Already the first tests were quite good for us," said Lopez. "We managed to do a lot of miles and the reliability of the car was very good. With a complex car like this, it was quite impressive for the first test to do a lot of mileage. The team has worked on this technology for a long time and has done a brilliant job." The Toyota LMH, a name for which has yet to be announced, undertook 3 days of testing at the Algarve track from Wednesday to Friday of this week. Its run followed a shakedown of the car at Paul Ricard at the end of October, prior to the final round of the 2019-20 WEC in Bahrain the following month. Lopez, Conway, Sebastian Buemi, and Brendan Hartley drove the sole car present in Portugal across the 3 days. Mercedes Formula E driver Nick de Vries, Toyota's nominated test and reserve driver, joined the team for the final day of running on Friday. Toyota Gazoo Racing Europe Technical Director Pascal Vasselon described the first 3 days at the circuit near Portimao as another productive test of our new hypercar. Toyota's new LMH ran for the first time in wet conditions on the opening day of the test, but Vasselon revealed that luckily we saw the sun and decent temperatures for the remaining 2 days. Kobayashi and Kazuki Nakajima did not take part in the Portuguese test because they are competing in this weekend's Super Formula's finale at Fuji Speedway. The Japanese duo were also absent from the Ricard shakedown because they had been racing at the Japanese series the previous weekend at Sugo. The car ran in a livery for the first time this week ahead of a virtual launch planned for mid-January when Toyota will reveal the technical details. It has so far only put out teaser shots of the car running in camouflage at Paul Ricard, but the car will bear a resemblance to the GR Supersport road car being developed in parallel with the racer. And that's all your news in the gearhead world. We hope to see you again at the same time tomorrow and around 7 p.m. on Monday. Remember to like and subscribe for more news for almost every day. We're going to try and get it every day of the week. Have a nice night and have a happy holidays, everyone. Goodbye.
Going green, this is 5-5, going green, this is 5-5.